Today, I want to talk about my theories for what we should expect for Season 3 and possibly even Season 4 of Hazbin Hotel now that we finally made it to the end of Season 2. Now, so far, Hazbin Hotel seems to like having a different villain for each season of its show, building us into a bigger and bigger story about the redemption of sinners while addressing these villains one at a time. Season 1 was all about Adam, who didn't just enjoy the exterminations, but pushed for a second one each year to do even more killing. After his death in Season 1, Season 2 focused on Vox and his two lackeys, Valentino and Velvet. They had been introduced in Season 1, of course, and it's still been set up that their plots will clearly continue into Season 3, but I don't think that will make them the big villains the way Vox was in Season 2. Season 3 is currently set up for Valentino to take the position of Vox running the television industry, and it's played for laughs so far, but there has to be some seriousness to what he will be doing next. While VivziePop has said in a recent interview that we haven't seen the last of Vox and there's more story to tell with him, I have to imagine that Valentino is going to be the much bigger focus in Season 3, because I think that Angel is also going to be a much bigger focus in Season 3. Now, for those who don't know about me personally, Angel was actually my absolute favorite character when the show first started. In the pilot itself, I didn't really have a favorite character, as I wasn't really sure what to make of the series yet outside of its interesting plot. It wasn't until the Addict music video that I saw the real potential and depth that the show could go to. The majority of the music video wasn't even that interesting to me, as I'm not much of a club music kind of guy, but when we get to the end and there's that beautiful reprise where Angel is singing about how hard it is to be addicted instead of how great it is to be addicted, it got me excited for what we would be exploring with him in the show, and so far it feels like a lot of that has just been ignored. Up until now, I've just assumed that they didn't have as much time to explore Angel as they had hoped, as the seasons are a lot shorter than VivziePop originally intended. With the original pitch for Season 1 having something closer to 13 episodes instead of the 8 episodes per season that Amazon has been giving us. Don't get me wrong, every season has had at least one episode really digging into his character, but none of it has been the kind of focus that I was expecting based off of the pilot and the original music video. But it seems like all of this has just been waiting for the build up to Season 3, where Valentino gets to take center stage as the villain, and Angel becomes the center focus as the priority to save for that season. You see, in addition to Valentino taking over the role of controlling Vox Tech and all of the screen-based corporations that he's in charge of, the season also ended with the reveal that Angel was under the control of Valentino, and more importantly Vox, because of his soul deal with Valentino, and because of that has been acting as a spy against the Hazbin Hotel this entire time. It was pretty amazing to see Husk and Cherry Bomb come together and work to save Angel from Valentino and snap him out of his hypnosis, but even after doing so, Angel didn't want to return to the hotel because he still sees himself as a threat. Even with Vox defeated, we do know he's still going to be an issue in later seasons, and Angel is still under the soul contract with Valentino, which is probably going to get a lot more intense in the seasons to follow. As of right now, Valentino has mostly been played as a funny character, or even a bit of a sympathetic one with the way that he's treated by Vox. But of course, we also see the incredibly dark truth about Valentino and his ownership of Angel's soul in multiple episodes, where he goes out of his way to hurt Angel and make him feel like less of a person. It's not just that the two have a soul deal, but Valentino seems to specifically get off on using Angel and making him feel worse and worse about himself due to their arrangement. Even as an adult film star, Angel is one of the most popular celebrities in all of hell, but Valentino still makes him go work the streets for cheap deals just to make Angel feel like lesser than he is. With that in mind, my major prediction is that Season 3 is going to be the season of Valentino and Angel, the season where we really get to dig into their story. Season 2 already dealt with Alistair and Vox, giving us flashbacks into how both of them ended up in hell and how they met each other, and I expect the same thing to happen with Valentino and Angel. Early on, we'll probably get a flashback showing how Angel ended up in hell himself and what he was doing in life to make him turn into a demon. Most of us already know that this has a lot to do with his family life, as Angel was explained in early livestream lore to actually be part of an Italian mob run by his father. In the show, Vox claims that Angel's major sin on Earth was actually killing his father. And though Angel didn't address this directly in the episodes, it's pretty certain that Season 3 is going to dive into this story and give us the full scope of it. Of course, even in life, Angel was the person he is today, even if he just had to hide it. And because of that, it's not hard to imagine that Angel's life with his father, especially in the past and working for an Italian mob family, was not very happy for him. Whether it was to protect others or to give him a chance to escape and live his own life, Angel ended up killing his father, and the reasons for that are going to be explored in Season 3. But after that, I think we'll also explore the life of Valentino. Like with Vox, this may not be until the Season 3 finale when we need to get the last of the information before putting a close to Valentino's major story. And at that point, I think we'll already have seen the scene where Angel and Valentino meet in hell. The season structure doesn't have to be a one-to-one match for Season 2 with Alistair and Vox's story, but it sets up the perfect template to slowly get into our characters' backstories one season at a time. With that in mind, I think that in addition to Angel, we could also see more of the life of Husk, as he would have to be an important character in anything that Angel and Valentino are involved with. Husk hasn't just been looking out for Angel or having something of a romantic dynamic with him, but he's essentially the parallel and replacement for Valentino through Alistair. Vox doesn't work alone, of course, but is known for his team, the 3Vs, where he works with Valentino and Velvet. And to perfectly balance this out for one-on-one or 3-against-3 battles, Alistair was given 2 sidekicks as well, one being Nifty and the other being Husk. These 2 teams of 3 each are pretty perfectly balanced, with Alistair and Vox each being the leader of their respective team and the ones in control of most of their power. Each team also has its girl, with early versions of Velvet being in a cosplay maid outfit, making her an interesting parallel for the more real maid of Nifty. And then finally there is Valentino and Husk, both being interested in Angel and both being overlords of adult entertainment industries. The only problem with these theories for Season 3 so far is that I don't really know how this story would end differently than it already went this season. The big thing about seasonal villains is you don't want everything to feel the same as the last season, so instead of having us go to war against Heaven like we did at the end of Season 1 because of Adam, Season 2's finale was more of an infiltration mission against Vox and his 3Vs, with Husk being able to have this awesome one-on-one fight with Valentino where they eventually rescue Angel. But because of that, it seems like Season 3 can't possibly end in the exact same way, just with a different turn for Angel where he ends up coming to the hotel. And with that in mind, I think we're just going to circle back to one of the ideas brought up this season by Husk, which is that Angel himself is the one who's next in line to be redeemed, and that's going to happen. Right now, we know that Season 3 is supposed to have a lot of people staying at the hotel, and unlike Season 2 where we barely talk to these characters, I think it's possible that Season 3 will be focusing on the bigger issues of redemption in general, now that everyone else is actually trying to get it. With Serpentius, it wasn't exactly easy even early on, and the way he ended up getting into Heaven was actually something of an accident. And when Charlie has to deal with masses and masses of people trying to get into Heaven but still being flawed sinners, I think we're gonna have a lot of fun conflict. But after an entire season of not getting anyone into Heaven, no matter how good they act or how hard they try, I think the answer is going to come when Angel himself inevitably dies and ends up in Heaven just like Serpentius. It's from here that the rules for getting into Heaven will undoubtedly become a lot more clear. Me personally, I think it comes down to needing to actually die in hell at the hands of either an angelic weapon or a smiting beam that is meant to permanently kill you like the one Adam used on Serpentius. My big theory is that by risking his life in order to save Husk earlier in Season 2, that Angel actually already met the requirements to be redeemed, but didn't end up getting to Heaven because Vaggie saved him at the last minute. And to have another tragic death at the end of Season 3, leading to Angel making it into Heaven and giving them a firm idea of what the rules are for everyone else to try next would be really interesting, setting up a final 4th season for this main story, as Vivzipop originally said that the main story would be told in just 4 seasons. That may change, of course, and I also have a lot more theories on where Seasons 3 and especially Seasons 4 will go with their endgames. So if you want more information on that, subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming videos, and if you haven't checked it out yet, consider signing up with the join button next to the subscribe button for our early access membership club. By signing up here on YouTube, you get early access to any of the videos we can put out in audio form before we get around to actually editing their visuals, which this week includes our hour-long video breaking down the major lore of Season 2 of Hazbin Hotel and the secret societies that inspired its plotline. This will be a big video coming out in just a few days, so don't worry if you can't sign up, but if you really want to sign up and see it early, the option's there. See you guys next time.